Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a mass shooting in Illinois. One person is dead and at least 22 others injured. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken kicked off 2 days of high-stakes talks in Beijing Sunday. Plus, SpaceX launches a Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Live view courtesy, here we go, there we go, live view courtesy of the Victoria College Emergency Technology Complex Winterbook site there in Victoria off of Lone Tree Road. Extreme heat today, yes, very much so. Extreme heat warning in effect. We'll talk about that coming up in your forecast.
Generals back in action, and there could be a new big three in the NBA. I'll have that coming up in sports.
All right, you're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Astrain.
Trey Mining here.
And today it's the 19th day of June 2023. The time is now 6:30 on your Monday morning, your Juneteenth morning. And today it's also World Sauntering Day. So that's in celebration of people slowing down and savoring life and slowly living. So that's just kind of taken in.
Kind of sounds like one of my life philosophies.
Living in the moment, right, Trey? With that frozen martini glass.
There you go. Carolina knows how to keep cool and take it easy. And which would be good advice today. Heat index values approaching 120 by the afternoon.
Oh, Trey, I'm going to go to bed very early today, all week.
Yeah, turn all the AC and all the fans on and try to stay cool. I know you can. And rainfall chances pretty much out of the question for now, but we'll try to find some. Let's take a look at the temperature right now. This is currently in Victoria, and you'll see the temperature is 81 degrees, still hanging down that number with a heat index value approaching 89 degrees currently on the outside. So definitely already that hot. It gives you a clue out there. It's going to be a very hot, blistering day. 94% humidity, still quite high in the humidity levels. And temperatures in the 80s area-wide from the coast all the way to Victoria, 81 degrees, same thing in Cuero and in the Yoakum area this morning. And this goes into effect at 12 noon today, lasts until 8 p.m. That is excessive heat warning. All the counties you see here in the red color, this kind of dark pink color, the red color, whatever it is, from Victoria County points to north, south, east, and west, all under the excessive heat warning. And along the coast, the heat advisory, because the sea breeze keeping us folks a little bit cooler, just down from the excessive heat warning criteria. But of course, with this in effect, that means the heat outside during the afternoon especially is life-threatening. So please be careful. Limit your outdoor activities. Watch out for others. Make sure everyone is safe out there. Of course, any change in this pattern, we'll try to find some later on in the full forecast. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. YMCA locations across the Houston area have been doing their part to help people get a break from the heat.
With the city baking in an excessive heat warning, most Houstonians are opting to stay indoors.
I probably would have stayed home in bed.
But there's another place you can go.
Pretty much wherever you live, there's going to be a Y.
Greater Houston YMCA's opening their doors, lanes, and buckets to the public.
So this weekend we're a designated cooling center, which means that anyone in the city can walk into any YMCA and open a guest pass account.
Trotter Family YMCA Healthy Living Director Monica Ward says guest passes give you access to everything a full member can use.
Also, you can come in and you can use the showers. You can come work out. A mom can check her kids into Child Watch and just have like a moment of peace in the cool.
Guest passes are typically good for about 3 visits, but under this excessive heat warning.
And if they run out of those 3 visits and we're still a designated cooling center, we'll let them come in and sign up for another one.
Jose Cortez and his family enjoyed a very hot Father's Day poolside.
It was like super hot, so we decided to come to the pool and to chill a little bit. Yeah, it refreshed us.
While Kelly Glazer and Jeremiah Sauls shot some hoops while staying comfortable.
Playing basketball and swimming.
You can spend all day doing different kinds of sports that he doesn't usually always get to.
One person is dead and at least 22 others injured in a shooting overnight in Willowbrook, Illinois. Officials said just before 12:30 a.m. deputies heard multiple gunshots and they responded to an area where a large crowd was gathered for a Juneteenth celebration. According to officials, an unknown number of suspects fired into the crowd, killing 1 victim and injuring 22 others. Their ages and conditions are unknown at this time. So far, there are no suspects in custody and no known motive for the attack. An investigation is ongoing. Secretary of State Antony Blinken kicked off 2 days of high-stakes talks in Beijing Sunday. Blinken met with China's Foreign Minister Qin Gang and other senior officials in an effort to ease tensions between the two countries. While neither side is expecting Any major breakthroughs, the Secretary of State's visit is seen as a step in the right direction and one that has been on hold for months. A previously scheduled trip to China was canceled in February after the U.S. shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon over U.S. airspace. SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida on Sunday. The PSN Satria mission will send up a satellite which will be sent to a geostationary orbit for an Indonesian satellite communication company. The launch comes as part of a push by Indonesia to provide greater coverage of broadband access to thousands of uninhabited islands throughout the country. SpaceX says the first stage Falcon 9 booster supporting this mission has launched more than 10 times. The company will recover the rocket booster on their drone ship, a shortfall of Gravitas, in the Atlantic Ocean. The government's unemployment report for May showed a higher than expected number of new jobs were created, despite the fact that some experts are worried about the overall economy. If you're thinking about a new job right now, is this a good time to be looking?
Workers who have been thinking about the next step in their careers are likely watching the news about the economy recently and may be worried that the recession some economists say might be coming could make it a bad time to ask for a raise or to change jobs.
I would say that workers do not have to let fears of a recession or unemployment deter them from advocating for themselves or seeking out new opportunities, especially right now when the economy has remained resilient.
Sarah Foster of Bankrate says that workers who are focusing on making themselves invaluable inside their company and their industry are the ones who are more likely to find new opportunities.
It's important to really think about broadening your skills, making sure you're staying up to date on your certifications, and finding things that can help you stand out among other employees that maybe will make you indispensable.
Another big factor in helping you take the next step in your career is building and maintaining your professional network.
When you have a network to fall back on, you might be able to, number one, find out about opportunities that haven't been publicly posted just yet. And then when you do apply for those opportunities, you might be able to have a connection that you can fall back on.
Whether you're looking for a new opportunity at your current place of work or aiming for a job somewhere new, experts say it's important to know what's going on at those companies.
So for instance, if you're someone who's approaching your manager asking for higher pay, you might not really have that much leverage if the company itself has already gone through layoffs. And in addition, if you're thinking about taking a new opportunity at a different company, it might not really be a wise time if that company has already laid people off.
The bottom line is that you can put yourself in a better position to grow your career, even if the economy remains uncertain. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is just about 6:38 on your Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. 5 people were killed during a house fire in North Carolina on Sunday morning.
President Biden continues his campaign season with a stop in California. I'm Micah Jacci reporting in New York. Coming up, how the president plans to use his trip to the Bay Area to focus on climate.
Take a look at this. The excessive heat warning is in effect for most of the state of Texas, excluding the Panhandle, areas in Arizona and El Paso. Very hot conditions everywhere you go, extending that Louisiana, Mississippi, and even further east from there. So dealing with the heat, a little bit of a break coming our way? Nah, kind of. We'll get the details of it coming up. Good morning. It's 20 minutes away from the 7 a.m. hour. Take a look at the tropics. It's hurricane season, of course. Have something to watch out here. This is, of course, not a named system as of yet. It's a tropical wave there, a wave of low pressure, nothing organized, but it kind of has a little bit of a look to it, and it may get better organized. The water is very warm in the Atlantic Basin, looking like the model runs, the spaghetti plots having it moving toward the north and northwest, near the upper part of the Lesser Antilles coming up the next few days, later on in the week. Some models have it curving up to the north in the Atlantic Ocean. Some have it making its way toward the Caribbean Sea, so we have to watch this, of course. It's way out there, a lot could happen. It's still very weak and yet to be found out exactly where this may go, of course. We'll keep watching, of course, as we go through your hurricane season, keep you updated. And what about our forecast here? Thankfully, nothing from the tropics as of yet, but heat's still going to continue for us, very much so. We'll give you details on that specifically in your full 7-day outlook to come. Before we go, Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. A new Big Three forming in the NBA, and the Generals bring the smackdown on Father's Day. Sports reporter Zach Brown has the details.
Well, huge news out of the NBA yesterday. There will reportedly be a new Big Three in Phoenix. The deal would send Bradley Beal to the Suns. Meanwhile, the Suns are expected to send Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and a few second-round picks to the Wizards. Unfortunately for Chris Paul, the Wizards currently not in position to win a ring as is. Luckily for the 38-year-old 12-time All-Star, the Wizards are likely to reroute him in a trade, and the Clippers are expected to be suitors. The Victoria Generals back in action yesterday for Father's Day, welcoming the Seguin River Monsters. The Generals, had a 1-0 lead, but that pass ball is going to allow the runner to scoot home to tie it in the bottom half of the inning. Levi Castilleja dumps one in the left, and he's thinking, too, he's going to turn on the Jets and just get in ahead of the tag. Next batter, same thing. Castilleja rounding third, thinking score. He turns on the Jets once again, but he's out to end the inning. But after that inning, the Generals lay the smackdown on the River Monsters. I had to leave. We had a show to do. But as soon as I left, they poured it on in the 9th inning. Generals 19, Seguin 1. And the Rangers victorious over Toronto, and the Astros fall to the Reds. That's your 25 Sports Now.
All right, thank you, Zach. We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Now, on to the 2024 presidential race. President Joe Biden's re-election campaign continues today in California, where he plans to hold a series of fundraisers and official events focused on climate change. This as Republicans are still trying to garner attention in an ever-growing Republican primary.
After kicking off his campaign in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, this morning, President Biden is making his way across the country to California. He'll first travel to Palo Alto in the Bay Area for a mix of campaign fundraisers and official business, highlighting the urgency of taking bold action on the climate. A White House official says the president will tour a coastal wetland and announce more than $600 million for climate adaptation projects funded by the Inflation Reduction Act and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. Projects like better protecting our nation's power grid from extreme weather events, as well as preparing coastal and Great Lakes communities for climate change impacts like sea level rise, tidal flooding, and storm surges. Biden's focus on infrastructure was also a central point of his visit to Pennsylvania over the weekend, where he took an aerial tour of the collapsed portion of I-95 in Philadelphia, a roadway that carries over 160,000 cars a day.
There's no more important project right now in the country.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says a temporary fix to the span is coming much quicker than expected.
We will have I-95 reopen within the next 2 weeks.
Meanwhile, in the race for the White House, Republicans continued to attack former President Donald Trump's legal exposure. In a recent interview, Republican presidential candidate Chris Christie criticizing Trump's conduct.
We would not be here if Donald Trump had simply returned the documents. The dozens of times the government asked him to return them, the times that the grand jury served a subpoena for them. He waited, defied the government, and then wound up having his house raided.
Members of Biden's campaign say he won't hold regular rallies until later in the campaign season. Biden plans to travel to Chicago and Maryland before the end of the month. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, New York.
5 people were killed during a house fire in North Carolina on Sunday morning. According to authorities, the fire broke out at a residence in Broadway, which is about 40 miles southwest of Raleigh. The deceased include a father and his 2 sons. They were staying at a home with friends who live there. The residents of the home also died in the fire. The home was burned to the ground, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. The time is now 6:46 on your Monday morning. Still to come, teen jobs are on the rise. Demand is especially high for lifeguards. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Lexus. You are 16 today, so enjoy this day and many more. Love you, Mom.
And happy birthday wish. Happy 14th birthday to Raquel Benavides. She celebrated her birthday on Sunday. Hope you have an amazing day. Love, Mama and Moo.
And happy birthday to actress Zoe Saldana. The Out of This World actress is turning 45 years young today. Trey, I love her in Avatar, The Guardians. I mean, she's in everything.
Oh yes, to see a birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More and under Home. You'll see the KVU Submit Your Birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:47 on your Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you did this weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning, good morning. Trey Mining here, 10 minutes away from 7 a.m. on your Monday, and we have an excessive heat warning. Warning means you need to take this seriously from about Port Lavaca, Sea Drift area points to the north. Along the immediate coast and the bay fronts, we have just a heat advisory because of the sea breeze keep those folks a little bit cooler, but still no matter where you go, heat's going to be a big issue coming up all the way from north, south, east to west. And heat warning, that means this is life-threatening heat. If you stay out too long and get overdone, of course. By the time we get future tracker time, we're looking at a few high clouds from time to time, otherwise keeping it nice and sunny today. But the atmosphere heating up rapidly and very hot conditions today, so be careful out there. Better yet, stay inside and watch TV. 100 degrees today, 110 heat index value, or even higher than that likely. Sunny skies, southerly winds near 10. Overnight lows, about 80 degrees or so. Partly cloudy skies, keeping it on the humid side. And again for your day tomorrow, 101. Tuesday, heat index value approaching 120 in parts of the area like today. And then a little bit of a cool down, upper 90s, coming in for Thursday into the weekend.
We now turn to the job market and an indication that Americans are beginning to take it a bit slower at the office. It comes just as more companies are looking for help from teenagers.
This morning, new evidence that Americans, notorious for working long hours at the office, even during summer, are finally cutting back.
I'm also going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too.
Saying no to those extra hours. The average number of hours worked per week dropped to 34.3 last month. That's below the pre-pandemic average. The Wall Street Journal reports in many cases, companies are finally filling open positions, taking the burden off everyone else. But in many other cases, workers are simply choosing a better work-life balance.
Demand is high everywhere.
And that could leave more work for teenagers this summer. Places like this water and amusement park in Maine rely on teen workers all season long.
So we're all kind of battling for a relatively small market.
Demand is especially high for lifeguards this summer due to a shortage that's forced thousands of pools to reduce hours or close altogether. But from camp workers and sports instructors to retail and restaurant jobs, teen hiring overall is up this year, and so is the pay, now averaging nearly $15 an hour, a 9% increase from last summer. Construction offers one of the highest wages for teens at nearly $18 an hour.
Teens are relatively low paid compared to other workers in the labor force. That's going to be an advantage for employers to hire teens.
Summer jobs in western states such as California, Nevada, Washington, and Arizona are seeing some of the highest paychecks thanks to higher minimum wages in those states. One survey found Los Angeles, Tucson, and Las Vegas are among the cities with the best paying summer jobs. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Leading us to your viewer poll, scan this QR code because we want to know, did you work as a teen? Okay, let's take a look. 88% of you say yes, and the rest of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go. Wyndham Clark has won the 123rd U.S. Open Championship. Wyndham Clark has won the 123rd U.S. Open Championship in the final holes. Clark and Rory McIlroy were separated by just a single stroke with one hole to play. Clark finished the tournament at 10 under, one stroke ahead of McIlroy, and 5 strokes ahead of Ricky Fowler. The 29-year-old knocked in a 2-footer. He pumped both fists, let out a roar, and then choked up. He was immediately congratulated by friends and family. Clark, who turned pro in 2017, had previously competed in 6 major championships and finished no better than tied for 75th. He won his first PGA Tour even in May at the Wells Fargo Championship. A memorial was held Sunday in South Carolina to mark 16 years since 9 firefighters were killed in a furniture store fire. The annual remembrance ceremony took place at the Charleston 9 Memorial Park on the site of the former sofa store, which burned to the ground that night of June 18, 2007. As the firefighters began to battle the blaze on that day, an emergency call came in saying an employee was trapped inside. They rushed in to save that individual, but the flames quickly engulfed the building. The firefighters who were still inside that building sent out a mayday call. Then the roof collapsed, leaving 9 firefighters trapped beneath the rubble. As the Special Olympics World Games in Berlin were about to begin, the traditional law enforcement torch run heralded the start of the world's largest inclusive sporting event. Thousands of athletes with intellectual disabilities will compete in the 26 summer sports during the 8-day competition. Mexico City residents attended a massive boxing class in the iconic Zócalo Square on Saturday. Organizers were looking to break their own Guinness World Record for the largest boxing class, which they set in 2022 with 14,299 people. The event was aimed at promoting a healthy lifestyle and spreading exercise among the youth to keep them away from drugs and violence. Victoria County Commissioners set to meet today on this Juneteenth federal holiday. In a special term on the agenda is a presentation of the 2022 Distinguished Service Award from the Texas Historical Commission to the Victoria County Historical Commission. And they'll also consider approval of several items in connection to the Victoria County Courthouse entry steps and repair project. They'll also hear an operation update from the Victoria Regional Airport. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone, just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Mining. Trey?
And thank you, Carolina. It's definitely going to be a hot one today with the excessive heat warning in effect for all the Crossroads counties you see here, except along the immediate coast. Heat index values approaching 115 to 120 possible. That is in the dangerous category. Please take heed of that. Reduce your outdoor activities. Take it inside will be a good idea in the air conditioning. Sunny skies, a few hot clouds from time to time. Sun baking our atmosphere around here and keeping us hot. And that's going to continue for a while. 100 degrees today. Sunny sky, heat index value 110 or higher. Overnight lows will be in the upper 70s or 80 degrees or so. And then for your day tomorrow, Tuesday, 101, heat index value 120. And keeping those high temperatures going. And then a little bit of reduction in temperatures coming up by Thursday. We'll take it. Stay cool and safe today. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Remember to stay cool and protect yourself from the heat. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join us today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.